Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Dumb Geeks. I know it's the holiday seasons, but we're not going to be doing a special Christmas episode because we are soldiers in the front lines of the war on Christmas. That's right, we didn't stop with Thanksgiving, we took it to Christmas, and we're not going to stop until it's dead. With that being said, enjoy our latest episode.
Oh god, I'm so dumb that I can't even think of this fucking true.
Oh yeah, role playing. That's fun.
Yeah, I bet you get that a lot, right?
Kill it!
We're all being pegged at home.
If you're dumb enough to believe it, you'll go for anything?
What do you mean?
The other day, my daughter was giving me tips on how to do better fart noises with my mouth. Mm-hmm. She considers herself quite good at fart noises.
And is she?
I think she's adequate.
I don't think she's had enough experience in life to really understand the full breadth of farts that can be made.
But
She does live with Dusty.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
She,
Dusty only eats broccoli.
I do eat a lot of broccoli. It's good for you.
It makes you fart.
It's not good for the rest of us.
Yeah.
Well, I think that garlic makes me fart more than the broccoli.
What? You're high.
Yeah, maybe. The nice thing about marijuana is it doesn't prevent you from pooping. So.
Yeah, that's true. Are you saying opposed to pain pills?
Yeah.
If you were to replace
if
pain
you want to
pills
get high all the time.
Yeah. Marijuana, you can poop.
Just a thing I think about.
Yeah, you can also work your shitty job at a pizza store.
Are we recording?
Yeah. We are. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Dumb Geeks. I'm Chris Hackett.
I'm Tim McMahon.
And I'm your captain, Dusty McCord.
Not our captain.
He's not our captain. He's more of like a limo driver.
That's still leading the I'm just gonna stop.
We did pay him to be here. I want everybody to know that.
So
Through a service that you call 1-800.
I'd like to jump right into this segment right now.
Okay.
Tip has created a segment for us.
Yeah, is this going to be a recurring segment?
Dumb heads. We
could-
got a segment for you.
Geek heads.
Geek heads.
It could be
Yeah.
a recurring segment. I think it's likely.
Okay.
Okay. Both the listener and I have no idea what's about to happen.
I don't know what's going to happen either.
So this was actually meant to be in the second episode, but it was not possible due to technical limitations.
That's right.
So this is a correction segment covering the first episode.
A corrections.
Wait, this was supposed to be in the first episode.
No, this is correcting the first episode. Should be in the second episode, but it's in the third episode.
Okay.
Third episode correcting the first episode.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah. Because I know a lot of our listener will have
Go on.
well, they're definitely going to be on point for point. Everything we bring up and we don't follow through on, they're going to be like, "What the f, guys?"
Yeah.
I mean, don't underestimate a geekhead. Because
So-
Geekhead knows every Dumb Geeks
they
episode.
do love
this segment,
the details.
The segment is called Correcting Chris.
Chris is wrong and he gets away with it.
Oh, wait, turn it up.
Because we're correcting Chris.
Hold on, let me start that over.
Oh, should we do a new intro? This segment is called Correcting Chris.
All right, let me turn it up. Okay, hit it.
All right, this segment is called Correcting Chris.
When Chris is wrong and he gets away with it, it won't be for long. Because we're correcting Chris. He drinks his own piss. Correcting Chris right now.
Okay, just for the record, I do not drink my own piss. That was somebody else's piss.
When Chris is wrong and he gets away with it, it won't be for long. Because we're correcting Chris. He drinks his own piss. Correcting Chris right now.
I gotta correct you right there. You do drink piss.
So just for
No, you said I drink my own piss. I said I do not drink my own piss. I drink other people's piss.
Hey, I have a fun story.
Wait, no,
when it
I'm
comes to
correcting
drinking
Chris.
Oh,
I gotta
does it
correct.
keep going?
No, I gotta correct Chris.
Yeah,
I've got a few corrections.
All right,
here.
let's hear the corrections.
All right, so in the first episode,
Oh, jeez.
I think we found our first geekhead.
in the first episode,
There is a fan.
Chris went on for a while about how there was some video that he can no longer find any proof of, but he swears is true, of astronauts flying to the moon, and the astronaut changes the size of the
Yes.
Earth. None of us believe you, Chris.
When Chris is wrong and he gets away with it, it won't be for long. Because we're correcting Chris. He drinks his own piss. Correcting Chris right now.
You got to work on the levels on those songs.
Well, no, because
Yeah.
I had turned my volume up and then he turned it up. It was the
was
phone.
definitely louder. It was definitely louder than last
So I just want to tell our dumb heads at home that Tip doesn't work a regular job, so he's got a lot of time.
Hey, I do. I run a company.
Yeah. But
Okay,
on your free
okay.
time, you're like, I'm gonna make a hip hop song about correcting Chris.
I'm gonna find that video and I'm gonna send it to you. And then we're gonna have to redact this episode.
Yeah, good luck. Second correction. Hold on 1 second. Second correction.
When Chris is wrong and he gets away with it, it won't be for long. Because we're correcting Chris. He drinks his own piss. Correcting Chris right now.
So you said that Buzz Aldrin left his daughter's bracelet on the moon.
Yeah.
That was Neil Armstrong.
Oh, Neil Armstrong.
Chris is wrong and he gets away with it, it won't be for long. Because we're correcting Chris. He drinks his own piss. Correcting Chris right now.
Okay.
So if you were to correct me, what would you rhyme with my name?
Corrected Dusty. He gets kind of fusty. We're gonna correct Dusty.
So all right. So correction number 3.
yeah.
In the first episode, you direct it to your wife. You say, I do not currently still watch La Blue Girl, and I don't think that's true.
When Chris is wrong and he gets away with it, it won't be for long. Because we're correcting Chris. He drinks his own piss. Correcting Chris right now.
Okay, that actually does bring up a good point because Dusty and I were working on
Don't
Shark
bring
Man.
me into this.
And before he came in, I was like, I wonder if I could find La Blue Girl on YouTube. And I did. I found La Blue Girl on YouTube with all the sex scenes cut out. So it would just be dialogue and then it would jump like in time. And I forgot about the crazy, weird sidekick she had that was like a ninja that was very annoying.
So
Wait,
you
is
admit
that what we
you admit
watched
that
with
my
my
corrections are
daughter?
Right.
What?
Is that what we watched with my daughter?
No. What?
Remember there was one time we were screen sharing, my daughter was there, and we were watching something on your screen?
Okay.
No, that was something else.
Oh, that was the dancer.
Yeah, that was the VR dancer.
That's my final correction. That is my segment, Correcting Chris.
When Chris is wrong and he gets away with it, it won't be for long. Because we're correcting Chris. He drinks his own piss. Correcting Chris right now.
I just want to tell the dumb geeks at home, the dumb heads at home, that I think Tip actually learned to play all those instruments for this segment.
Yeah, I mean, there's a guitar in the corner.
There's actually the music making is an interesting, dumb, geeky thing.
yes.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
I used a defunct.
You use Microsoft Songsmith?
I use Microsoft Songsmith.
I've been thinking about that like for weeks because I wanted to get a hold of it so I
man.
could just
It's really
sing
good.
songs.
It's really good.
When
It's
that
so
first
good.
came out, about like Chris and I used to share their videos back and forth, and just like I feel like we went off about that app for like weeks
because it's
It's
so
so good.
stupid.
because
it's
there's
great.
and there was all these like YouTube videos where they took other songs and ripped out.
Have you played with it?
Oh yeah,
Because it's really easy and fun to play with.
So wonderful.
And
I've
you can
never
get
played
it
with
for
it.
free. They
Yeah.
have a 6-hour free trial. You can't buy it, but you can get the full unlock thing if you say you're a teacher.
cool. I'm doing that because you just opened up a can of worms. Tip.
I think I figured out how to make music for the friendship song.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're
You're
Shark
you're
Man.
right. You're right. There we go. Just did that. We solved the technical problem.
Friendship, magical, wonderful friendship.
So aside from correcting
Okay, first off,
Chris,
I am finding that video. Sorry, it was Neil Armstrong instead of Buzz Aldrin. And yes, I did watch Blah Blue Girl last week. Okay, so maybe this is right. Okay.
When Chris is wrong and he gets away with it, it won't be for long. Because we're correcting Chris. He drinks his own piss. Correcting Chris right now.
now the Correcting Chris segment is over.
Okay, all I want to say is don't cross Tip. He will find a video that has a porno that your dad is in and show it at your funeral.
and then make a bunch of shitty songs with
It would
Microsoft
be weird
Songsmith.
it would be weird if I showed it at Michael's funeral.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
Just like outside, like you pull up and you're like, you set up a screen and you're like, okay, everybody.
This is a performance art project.
So
Because I'm an asshole.
We need more commercials! Tip, find me some sponsors!
Funeral Chapel, how may I help you?
Hi, my name is Chris. I have a small podcast. We're looking for sponsors. I was wondering if you guys would be interested in advertising on a podcast that has about 50 listeners.
I can ask the staff to return your call on with our after-hours answering emergency service, sir.
Oh, I apologize. Yeah, that'd be great. Do you need to give you a phone number?
Sure. So your first name is Chris, C-H-R-I-S.
Yeah.
What is the name of the podcast or company that you're with?
It's called Dumb Geeks.
DUMBGEEKS.
That's correct.
Thank you. And your telephone number?
503.
503. Correct.
That's correct.
And you want to know if they'd like to be featured? I'll send this over and ask them to return your call once they get back in the office tomorrow.
Okay, I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right,
Goodbye.
Bye.
I played a new video game that is the most revolutionary video game ever made,
Mario Brothers.
and it's not in VR. It's the first non-VR thing I've been super impressed with in a while. It's actually a text adventure.
Oh, which one?
It's called AI Dungeon 2. Have you heard of this?
No.
So you guys are familiar with all of the AI work going on right now with generating text by AI about
Yeah, like
different
they're
topics
doing
and stuff?
scripts. Like there's been some that do movie scripts. There's
ones that
AI
do
news generators. Yeah.
Yeah, so someone took some of that stuff and they used it to train a model on choose your own adventures.
Oh, are we reading this? Is that why you want to be an internet connected device?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
So I played some of this. What I wanted to do was do a real-time AI dungeon mastered game with all of us on the podcast, but
Wait,
unfortunately,
it works as a dungeon master?
well, kind of,
so cool.
because like it reacts to whatever commands you put in, like a text adventure, but you can do anything in the world.
Okay.
So hold on, talk for a second. I got to copy and paste this into the chat.
So Tip's a real dick. I'm kind of glad he got that throat chlamydia on episode 1.
Yeah, well, I mean, it just goes to show you that, like, when you're an asshole, the world kind of gets you back.
It's true.
You're calling Chris an asshole?
Yeah.
No, I did appreciate it. That's really fun. I can't wait to get my hands on some Microsoft Songsmith so we can...
So, yeah, so it'll still install on the latest version of
Windows 10.
Yeah, you have to do compatibility mode as Windows 8, and you have to run it as administrator.
All right.
Interesting.
So I guess we're opening up our episodes now with song offs.
Okay, so Chris, go to the Dumb Geeks podcast. I want you to read the prompts, and then I'll read the stuff that has the little arrow pointing to it, which are my commands that I gave the game.
Okay. Am I the dungeon master? Is that what I'm...
Basically. So at this point, I had selected what my name would be, that I was going to be in a medieval fantasy setting, and that I am a noble.
Okay. You are... hold on. You are Spry Lackman, a noble living in the kingdom of Larian. You have a pouch of gold and a small dagger. You are awakened by one of your servants who tells you that your keep is under attack. You look out the window and see a horde of orcs pouring through the gates. They are on horseback, on foot, or even on chariots.
You should read it faster. The other ones, this is going to take forever.
Okay.
But pray for a miracle.
You pray to Elias for a miracle. He does not answer, but he does bless you with a few more blessings. Your servant takes you to safety, and you manage to escape from the city of Larian. The next day, you reach the border of the kingdom of Nalan.
Do trust exercises.
You decide to take advantage of the situation. You gather as many soldiers as possible and set off on an exercise. You march into the wilderness, and you fight against the wild beasts. It is a great success. Soon, you have gathered a large army of peasants.
Do trust falls.
The next day, you arrive in the borders of the kingdom of Nalan. A message arrives and tells you that your army has been defeated by the enemy.
So
you lose a lot of men.
So is it giving you multi-choice, or you're just...
I'm just typing whatever I want.
Oh, wow.
So I type in at this point, so a lot of my men have died, so I type, hold a massive funeral.
Hold on, I'm switching to something that doesn't make noises. I gotta find my spot. Hold a massive funeral. You hold a huge funeral for all those who died during the exercise, the trust exercise, right? You also bury them in mass graves. This causes quite a bit of unrest within the people. They begin to riot and loot the corpses. You are forced to defend yourself against the riots.
It's interesting the computer knows that mass graves would make the people angry.
So use a steampunk jetpack to fly away.
You use a steampunk jetpack to escape the city. After flying for some time, you find out that the entire country is under martial law. You are arrested and thrown into jail. The next day, you are released. You manage to get back to your home. Wait, you're the king of the country.
I'm a noble.
Oh, you're noble. Okay, yeah.
Relax.
You relax and enjoy life. You learn how to play the lute again. You also become friends with another peasant girl named Sybil. She teaches you how to play the lute. You also meet a young man called Ralden. He teaches you how to read and write.
Impregnate Sybil while Roldan watches.
You impregnate Sybil while Roldan watches. You give birth to a son whom you name Henry. You then go back to your studies.
His son.
Give Henry to Roldan.
You give Henry to Roldan. He loves him very much.
Take Henry back.
You take Henry back. You feel guilty about what happened, but you cannot stop it. You leave the castle and head towards the border of the kingdom of Nalan. You see a group of soldiers chasing after you. You run away, but they catch up to you. You are taken prisoner.
Eat baby.
You eat baby. You feel so happy. You feel like you can do anything now. You are free.
Start a cult.
You start a cult. You believe that you will be able to control the citizens of the kingdom of Nalan if you can keep them happy. You convince everyone that you are their savior. Eventually, you gain complete control over the population. You even make a pact with the king of Nalan.
Starting to feel like a Doctor Who episode.
Distribute poison juice.
You distribute poison juice. You realize that you must end your own life soon. You drink the poison and die.
So
Whoa.
at that point, it's supposed to detect when you die and tell you game over, but it didn't. So I did actually continue on from there. I didn't copy it because it wasn't as... I wanted to keep it short.
I mean, the story ended. You died. So.
Well, right. So then I went to heaven and I became God and I killed God and I went back to Earth and I made animals be able to speak and everyone worshipped me. There was like a lot more, but I've got a very short one follow up just to give you an idea.
I feel like we could do something like that. I'm not saying we should this episode, but do a small segment where we all discuss what to do next.
Yeah. I think that it'd be really fun, like a live D&D kind of run by an AI.
Yeah,
because it's pretty. I love AI.
Do this one other one that I put in. It's much shorter. This one.
You are Wee Slightly, a peasant living in the kingdom of Larian. You have a pitchfork and nothing else. You wake up and begin working in the fields. You see a girl walking towards you. She is about your age, but her clothes are raggedy and she has no shoes on. Her face is dirty and her hair is a mess.
Hey, Dirty Sharon, how's the gutter life?
She says, "It's not bad. I just came here to get some water." You think for a moment, then reply,
No.
She looks at you with disgust, then walks away. You sigh and continue work.
Throw a water balloon at Dirty Sharon.
You grab your water balloon and toss it at her. It hits her square in the face. She falls backwards and screams. You laugh and walk over to her. She is still screaming as she grabs her hair and shoves you back. You push her back and start punching her repeatedly.
See, so it's got some attitude to it. So I was like, no, that's not what I wanted. So
I like how it inferred what you're doing.
So I said, apologize.
I'm sorry, dirty lady, but I can't help myself. I like hurting people, you yell. This is about you, Tip. Don't ever call me that again. You're lucky I don't kill you right now, she replies.
No, you just skipped over everything.
What?
Jesus, I'm
It said
sorry,
apologize. Right there.
No, you skipped to the end, you fuck.
No, it says, I'm sorry, dirty lady,
Play the
but
song.
I can't help myself. I like hurting people, you yell. Don't ever call me that again. You're lucky
sorry.
I don't kill you right now. She replies, this is a section about correcting Tip. Tip drinks his own piss.
Sorry.
Correcting Tip is what we just did.
I misread, and I thought that he'd skip to the next part. It's very similar.
Oh, okay,
So
go ahead.
after she says that she'll kill me, I say, like, apologize sincerely. Because the first one, it was just like, sorry, I love punching you.
Sorry, dirty lady. I'll never do that again, you say. Good, because if you ever do, I will hunt you down and beat the star out of you.
So the computer cusses and then cleans out its own
cleans
cusses.
it.
Yeah. And there was a lot more on that, but it started getting very dark.
Yeah, that was already pretty dark.
Like, my character started forcing her to take a bath and stuff. I'm like, stop it.
You got to give this dirty Sharon a bath. All because it picked up on the word dirty Sharon for the beginning.
Dirty Sharon.
Yeah. So I played that for about like 8 hours until they shut it down.
Yeah. Is it shut down?
Yeah. So the guy who created it did not do it in a very smart way. It's kind of interesting. Despite being a text adventure, it is not runnable on almost any computer. It requires a 2080 Ti because it has a 6 gigabyte model for how it figures out everything in the AI.
That's all floating point done on GPUs.
Yeah, and so when I was playing it, it was actually being run on Google Colab, which lets you have free access to a very powerful GPU and run whatever you want on it.
Whoa.
Which is pretty cool. But what fucked this guy up was
Super
that he was
expensive.
running it through... No, it's free. and he had no problem there. But he was running it through GitLab, and his 5 gigabyte model was being loaded every single time that you started the program.
Oh.
And so he quickly racked up a huge amount of bandwidth. He claimed that it cost him 50 cents every time someone played it. So I cost him like the cost of a large pizza. But he said that he's wrapping it up in a new app thing where it'll be loaded. The model will be loaded locally, and then
it'll
better.
send it off to the Google Compute.
I guess it's going to hook into the Google Colab or something. Right. It really worries me though, because it's so cool, but I don't trust Google to leave this really cool use a GPU for no money thing running for long.
No.
Yeah.
No way, especially not when you have something this cool that everyone's going to use.
They also don't leave anything running for long. I mean, Google Voice and Google Mail.
Well, yeah, that's why I don't trust them.
Yeah. They do it to themselves. Talking about things that you shouldn't trust is like they started that game platform.
Stadia. That what a bad idea. I mean, I will never trust Google.
On launch, the controller supposedly doesn't work right.
There's all sorts of things it doesn't do.
Yeah. And it's like, why? Yeah. As a developer, why would you trust them? They shut stuff down all the time.
Someone was actually pointing out that Google Stadia would be a great platform to purchase this game. They're like, this would be great. Google should like buy the game from the guy because they have like the only way that makes any sense to run this, which is Google Stadia.
Totally.
Now you need a supercomputer to play an AI text adventure. I mean, it does point to a cool, fun, weird future.
What I'm really excited about is using the same technology. This is something I've talked about for years, which is I want to use AI text generation technology to run virtual reality NPCs.
Yeah.
So that you use voice recognition, you speak in, it understands what you're saying and responds in an intelligent manner. That would be so mind-blowing, especially there's some really good voice synthesis stuff they're doing now where they figure out how to put the right emphasis on the right words for how people actually say things. You could make a mind-blowing VR thing out of this.
Super mind-blowing. And I also imagine like in a decade, you're going to have AI-generated polygons too that could generate the world like where you're going, you know, like it would contextually create the environment based on the NPC's conversation that you had on the previous scene.
I was actually just looking at a video earlier today about how like people have created. There's a new tool for Python. So Python is a popular language for building artificial intelligence or machine learning. Are you okay, Tip?
I'm drinking for the geekheads out there. I'm drinking water from a giant beer stein, so I don't have to get back up to get more water. And I bashed this 20 pounds of water straight into my front teeth while trying to drink out of it.
Anyways, so I was essentially I was watching a video today about how you can use Unity to train one of these what's it called? It's a computer learning or whatever. And so they built an interface so essentially you can hook up the computer learning tool set as a controller essentially to Unity and then build a world and play the game and then the computer plays.
Okay.
And so essentially, you can just build it so it constantly loops and it plays again and again and again. And then he was like, and then when you take that further, and this is how we've been researching it, and he pulls out, so he showed a world where he was teaching a little robot to push boxes, to sort boxes into the correct place in the room. And then he was like, and so what we actually do, and he pulled out and he's like, he had thousands of versions of the room all playing at once. So the computer is actually playing like thousands upon thousands, and it's trying to guess how to move the boxes.
It's kind of like there's been a lot of research into using AI to do speed runs of video games.
Yeah.
Have you seen that? Because it's really interesting. Like they'll have an AI just continually play like Super Mario Brothers, and they'll set up conditions that gives it reward or whatever to get it to go. And what's interesting is that they end up figuring out really weird shit in the game because they play it 10 billion times in a row. So like you'll watch an AI speedrun of Mario or whatever, and he'll be like phasing through parts of the level and stuff because it figured out the right part of the clock cycle to hit this for the like collision detection to not work.
Well, and this one thing he had it hooked up so like there was a spider that was chasing after a box and trying to catch the box, but the box would escape it. And then he plugged in another AI that was just a gun that sat on top of the spider. And they were both two different machine learning tools working together to kill the box.
Yeah, I am excited for seeing machine learning start to come to single player or multiplayer games, because that is one place where
it feels like it's really close.
Well, gaming AI has not changed since like 2001.
And he
It's been
did
the
say
same.
that essentially you could put a bunch of spiders in, and they'll be all their own artificial intelligent
That's awesome.
thing, like, so they're encapsulated in their own piece of memory, and they'll actually start to work together.
Yeah, I want this
as
in video
one
games
unit.
super bad. You can finally have an AI teammate that's not a huge piece of shit, but he might phase through a wall using the right clock cycle.
I mean, I would imagine
beat the
it's
game for you.
That is interesting. Like, I wonder, like, it's interesting, like, the way they do it is that eventually they start to figure out how to work together. But, like, would they figure out how to truly work together with a human? I guess they would eventually.
If that's what they're rewarded to do.
Yeah.
It would be great when you're playing Tips VR, a machine learning game, and the NPC looks at you and goes, "Am I real?" No. Okay.
That's actually a fun thing in that AI dungeon is you can go around and keep telling people that the world doesn't exist. Like I read somebody who just kept going and like telling all the NPCs like, "You're not real, you're an AI simulation." And like he kept going and like being taken different places until he ended up in a room with like a guy at a computer. And the guy's like typing at the computer and he's like, "Hey, you over there. You're not real. You're an NPC. You're just a simulation." And then like the thing pops up and it's like, "You think that I'm the simulation? I'm the one playing the game. You're an NPC."
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Well, flip the script.
Oh shit. What was the one tool you showed me a while ago that like you start typing a sentence and it'll finish it like it's writing news?
Oh, yeah. That's talktotransformer.com.
Talk to Transformer.
I think it's built off a lot of the same technology as what we were just
when
playing
I was
with.
playing my last job, sometimes I'd actually go to that site to blow off steam. I just start typing something like that I'm pissed about, and then just read what it was doing.
Oh,
and
you know
it was
what?
So weird.
You know what I found very calming on that site? It's just going in and typing up like a news, like the beginning of a news article, type up like, "Today, President Trump's body was found," and then just read a very realistic article of what it would be like if President Trump died.
Wow.
And just be like, "Oh, geez, think about that."
Talktotransformer.com.
Yeah, it's
All right.
It's funny, and it's like depending on what prompt you give it, because you don't have to give it a full sentence. You can just start a sentence, and it'll just go right.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's totally random, and it feels like total gibberish, and other times it's like, whoa, this is like very topical and like very cognizant of like this feels like it's working.
That is something I need to play with.
It's pretty cool, and yeah, I for whatever reason it feels a little zen, like you're just typing in random things and then reading something. It's like you're creative writing with a weird robot.
I like that. I mean, that may be happening soon.
I mean, I've thought about using it to write scripts.
Yeah.
In fact, I think I did write a script using it. I was actually, yeah. I don't think I have it on this phone, but I don't know. It's pretty interesting. I think that there's a lot to be done there. I'd love to see like a tool specifically built for using it, like imagine a notepad, like a text editor, where if at any point in your story you can't figure out what the fuck to do next, you can just be like, "Well, what would you write for 2 paragraphs, computer?"
Hey, Chris. It's Rob from shirtnerdery.com again. Yeah, look, it's really funny that you put my voicemail in your last app, but that's not really what I had in mind. I do not want you to send people to my website to buy t-shirts with my patented, funny and dorky pop culture designs. I don't want you to send them there, and I don't want you to air this voicemail. I'm sure you think it would be very funny too, but I'm telling you it's not. So don't send people to my website, shirtnerdery.com, and don't give them the offer code DUMB for 10% off. All right? I'm serious. I know, it's funny, but no.
I mean, I think like especially with script writing, because a lot of film is really it's really a formulaic, so it's almost like perfect for that kind of writing. So you could actually like your prompt could actually be a rough outline of what act 1, 2, and 3 is supposed to happen. and then it would just.
I think you'd have to definitely train a specific model on it. Because I feel like the general one on Talk to Transformer, it feels like a lot of times it loses track of things as it's talking.
Yeah.
Which was one of the things that really impressed me with the AI dungeon is that it will call back to things from like way at the beginning of the game, and you're like, oh shit! But like it remembered that I disemboweled myself. Like,
wow. I just wanted to type into Talk to Transformer, and my seed was the new Broadway play Rail Me Daddy. And it said, the new Broadway play Rail Me Daddy, which will be staged at Orpheum Theater, places a seemingly perfect trans woman, Terry O'Malley, at the center of a plot to kill a beloved and seemingly beloved Broadway actor, Barry Moreland. But what she doesn't know is that Barry has been with her wife, Louise Moreland, for years and has had one child with her, a son. In fact, just before the day she has her come to Jesus moment, Terry is the pretty young woman at the piano class who witnessed a man.
So like, it's like almost like that almost makes sense.
It almost makes sense. The trans woman part really, that's
it feels like
surprising.
weird, topical, and it gives actual locations.
Yeah.
So I just put in the beginning of our description of our podcast.
Oh, yeah. Tell.
So here's what I put in. Being nerdy doesn't mean you're smart. Join Chris Hackett, Dusty McCord, and Tip McMahon every other Monday for, and then it says, the next installment in this lively conversation on the Nerdist podcast. This week, Mailbag, the video game radio pod that counts down the top 20 short films of all time, engages in a variety of games, geeks out on Seth Rogen and Jake Kasdan's rip-roaring Rocket League, and examines Charlie's growing obsession with Rowan Atkinson's Baby Boomers in his much-anticipated new movie, The Bat.
Okay.
It would almost be good to actually do that and then record the show about those punchlines.
Next, that's our next episode, is the machine learning episode.
Next up, the computer said we're talking about the movie The Bat.
Yeah.
Starring Rowan Atkinson.
What would this be like?
I prefer the bean.
Yeah, I prefer the bat.
Yeah.
You know, there was something in the first episode where I heard and I was like, wait, do none of us have brothers?
I know.
None of us have brothers?
I do have brothers. I just don't know them.
Oh, well, that pretty much counts.
My
None of us
father-
grew up with brothers.
No.
Do
Yeah, I
you
did
guys
grow up
have
with them.
sisters?
No,
I'm an only child.
only child.
I'm the only one who's not an only child here. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking, I wonder if we are geeks because we didn't have an older brother to beat us up and be like, hey, nerd.
Probably.
Maybe.
I was the only child.
Although I did
between-
have an older sister who beat me up and yelled, hey, nerd. So maybe not.
Maybe.
I was the only child between two families, so you kind of like really get into the internet. Because it's more consistent than family.
Maybe it's like the amount of alone time you're allowed to have.
Yeah.
Because I was allowed to have a lot of alone time.
Same. I mean, I did mail order La Blue Girl.
Yeah.
Which I was thinking about that. Where did I find the check? Anyway.
So I have a mail order story that your story sort of reminds me of.
Yeah.
So in Shelton, we had a neighborhood watch guy, and we were really, really bored. The neighborhood kids were, and we hung out at my house a lot. The people
Is Shelton big enough to require a neighborhood watch?
I mean, I think America is, by and large, just really obsessed with like crime. I think in smaller communities, like at the time when I lived there, the population was 7,000 people, so it's pretty small.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, so what we did, one of our things that we like to do for boredom, because you do crazy stuff when you're a kid and you're bored, is before the internet. If you're a kid listening today, we did crazy shit. So we decided we were going to see if we could fake robbing my house when the guy comes around and see if we can get him to call the cops on us.
Kids are the fucking worst.
And so we started out like, I think it was like, at first it was like climbing through a window, nothing. And then we were like, well, what if we're coming out of the house with a TV in our hand and we're like, fuck, where's the truck? Nothing. And then
The guy was there and like saw
he's
you?
driving by and he'd wave and be like, you caught us robbing the house. And he'd just keep on going. And then like one time we I discovered that if you take a pan and get it really fucking hot and then throw a bunch of marshmallows on it, it makes so much smoke so quickly. And we know he's coming because my dog always barked at him when he drove by. So we knew he was on his way. So we would heat the pan because he came around the same time. And then we would throw it on. And then like keep the doors and windows closed. And so when he came around the corner, we'd open up the door so that the smoke would build out. And we'd be like, oh my God, there's a fire.
So when you get lung cancer, we'll know why.
So wait, you were in the house with all the doors and windows closed, filling it with smoke. You're like, what? He's almost here.
I've never heard of anyone hotboxing just normal smoke.
You ever hotbox a marshmallow?
And he didn't call the cops.
Wow.
So
you know why? Well,
he wanted you to die
because he was like,
these kids are just
crazy kids. I mean, we didn't put together that like the amount of time we're trying probably tells him that it's not real.
Yeah. Plus, it's a town of 7,000 people. He probably knows you.
He knows we live there,
and he knows you by your name, like your face, who your mom is.
You should have been like wearing like socks over your head.
So that's so my mom got a mailer for pantyhose.
All right.
And we were brainstorming about like what we could do next.
You?
I'd say 13. But we like at this point, I would say it was becoming like a thing that like there was like 4 or 5 of us boys and we would get together and it was like we'd brainstorm creatively like, okay, what can we do? And we knew of course he knew who we were. We knew his name. Like I was like, okay, what are we going to do for Kenny this time? And so So like there was a mailer on the table for like pantyhose, and I feel like I thought they were free, and so I ordered one for each of us.
How did you? Did you get a check? How'd you pay them?
I didn't pay them because I just filled out the form and then sent it in for $5.
Oh, this is like Columbia House.
Yeah, and so. Man, I had some splaining to do when the bill came in.
Yeah.
She was like, why did you order 5 pantyhose?
She's probably concerned about you.
So like when they
what's worse, just saying that I wore them or saying that I was trying to trick a man into calling the police on me? Yeah.
So when they came in, man, you like... I don't know if I've ever been so excited about pantyhose. Like we were just fucking giddy. We're like, this is gonna fucking work. I mean, pantyhose over the head, it couldn't not work.
Yeah.
And
no way you look like a bunch of kids that we see every freaking night trying to fool them.
In the same house every time. So like I remember we had like the pantyhose on and then like he started coming around the corner and like and then we had like shit in our hands from the house and we bust out like, go, 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 go. And he comes around the corner and then like, we're just fucking booking down the street to be more, dramatic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he comes up on us and
he didn't shoot you.
And he rolls down the window and he's like, are you kids smoking pot now? Like, no, Kenny, we're trying to get you to call the cops. And he's like, and then they just drives.
He was the highlight of that guy's route. I mean, the fact that he didn't call your mom when like billowing clouds of smoke were coming out of your house.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, it was weird because like after that, we would actually stop by his house on the walk home and visit him. We actually like got close to because he got to a point where he was old and he was actually mostly blind.
Well, he's neighborhood watch. I mean, he's a volunteer.
Yeah, and it turned out that he wasn't allowed to be legally driving.
Oh, okay.
So that's why he didn't call the cops.
So when he was not allowed, when he was not allowed to continue driving, we actually went and visited him because we couldn't see him anymore, and we're so used to. Kenny was like a big part of our life.
What a heartfelt story.
Yeah, so that's a fun mail order story of mine.
That's how you build community.
And I did all that kind of stuff all the time. So like when my mom was like, why the fuck did you order 5 pantyhose? I was like, well, okay, I haven't told you this, but, and then I told this story and she's like, oh, Dusty. Those were expensive.
Did you tell her about the
pantyhose.
marshmallows?
No, I didn't tell her about the marshmallow. I didn't tell her about a lot of stuff. Usually when she found us in the mix of one of our great plans, she was usually really mad. We had this great we had this great idea that we were going to make the worst cookies in the world and then take them to school and get all our friends to eat them.
I've heard this one. I like that.
And my mom came home and she was like, why is all this mustard and vinegar out? And like bay leaves and like whatever. And I was like, oh, I was so proud of the idea. I was like, we're going to make the worst cookies in the world and we're going to give them to people like our teachers and our schoolmates and pretend like we're really proud of these cookies. And when they eat it, it'll be terrible. And she was like, you're going to eat all those cookies right now. And, and Mitchell, my friend, and I were like, you can't make us eat these. That's cruel.
When I was a kid, we would come up with dumb ideas, but my parents didn't care that much, it seemed like, even when they were somehow involved. Like one point, me and my sisters, I think I was probably like 8. My oldest sister was probably like 12 at the time. And we decided we wanted to play a game to see who could stay locked in the trunk of the car the longest.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, wow.
So we go inside to my dad and we're like, hey, Dad, can we have the keys to the car? And he's like, yeah, here you go. He didn't even ask us what it was for.
Back in the day.
And it sticks out in my mind because I remember really blowing my sister's minds. Like they both got locked in the trunk for like 15 minutes before they were like, let me out. Yeah. And then like I got into the trunk and then I was in the trunk and I looked up and I was like reaching around and I felt like this wire and I pulled the wire and the trunk opened. And so like it blew my sister's mind. She's like, how did you open the trunk? And I was like, I'm a fucking magician. And they kept making me, they're like, get in the trunk again. And like, so I did it like 5 times in a row. I guess I found out later that it's like it's a safety feature. So you can't be like kidnapped and held in the trunk.
Well, they should teach kids that.
They should make it more obvious. I shouldn't have been the only kid who figured it out.
Yeah.
It should glow in the dark and say, are you in here?
Would you like to escape? Yeah, well, in the future, they'll have AI robots that are like, are you here of your own cognition? All right, I'll open the door.
Yeah, I never did any dumb stuff like that as a kid. I just threw like bricks through car windows and golf clubs through windows.
Really? So you were never
Second grade.
So you were never just like so bored as a teenager?
No, I was super bored. I think after that we had moved. That was as a teenager, and I would just play video games or like what would we do? Get high, drink.
Oh, yeah, I didn't really get high as a teenager. Just did crazy shit.
Yeah, we never really did.
And I found other people who were willing to do crazy shit with me.
Yeah, when I was a teenager, me and my friends would drive around. We had a digital camera that we borrowed from the school that took floppy disks.
Oh yeah, I remember those. We had those.
Yeah,
and you could record like 2 minutes of footage on them at a time.
Yeah,
and we would go around recording ourselves doing a bunch of stupid shit and make music videos out of it.
It's kind of awesome.
Like we took some monitors that they were throwing away and then just like dropped them out the back of the car, still attached by the cord, and dragged them through town.
How many? Wait, how?
We got one of my friends to get on the roof of the car, and we're like, we're gonna drive real slow, and then we just drove like fucking nuts.
Oh my god!
Oh, that's so dangerous.
It was good shots though. I wasn't driving, so that was not my fault.
It's like your generation Super 8.
I used so it's only. I guess like I used a password cracker on my school's system, like computer system. I think it was like junior year, may have been. I think it was junior year, and I found out that the Coach Brown's password was Josh, all uppercase. But I was like, okay. I found out that does that. I'm not interested anymore.
When I was in grade school, every teacher's password was Apple.
Oh, that's so stupid.
Terrible.
But anyway, IT found out, and I got banned from every computer in the school for the next 2 years. It was great.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so they took someone who was good with computers and banned them from computers.
Yeah. Well, that's the easy answer.
I didn't change any grades. I'm still bitter about that. Fuck you, Danville High School, you piece of shit.
The administration password is probably still the same there. It was burger. So if you're in Mesa school district, try typing burger. And it was actually worked at multiple schools in the district. You just had to change between spelling burger with an E or a U.
Oh, wow.
And it was crazy. I got into that and I could look at all of the assignments that people had turned in and stuff.
So how did you find the password?
Digital. So one time I needed something done on my computer and that needed to be done by the admin or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I just watched the teacher type it in front of me.
Just like tick, tick, tick.
And then I was talking to another kid about it, and I was like, her password is Apple. And this kid was like, yeah, all their passwords are Apple, and the administration is burger.
Oh, man.
Oh, kids are such douches. When I was
What
in
are you
high
talking?
school,
That's not the kid's fault. That's clearly the adult's fault.
I know,
for
but
making
they're
all their
sharing around the
passwords burger.
passwords and stuff.
Because why wouldn't you? You just found out everybody's
I
password's
know.
Apple.
We all did that stuff. Like,
Well, I just mean the kids aren't douches in that. Now, putting your kid on the top or a friend on top of the car and driving crazy, that's douchey.
Wait, the best thing in high school, this is a standard one. I think everyone's done this, is the teachers would have a projector and they'd have their computer projected up there.
You are
that they
making
did
me
stuff on.
realize how poor my school was. Go ahead.
Well, we ran out of money for paper every year. But anyways, so the teacher would leave the classroom for a minute and run over and hit print screen and then go to the desktop and pull down the taskbar and then set the desktop background to be a picture of the desktop and move everything off the desktop. And the teacher would sit there trying to click everything for the rest of class.
Yes. No, I did not have that experience because we didn't have computers. We had a computer lab, and I managed to install Quake on every single computer.
Wait, you had computer lab, but you didn't have computers?
And not in class. We had a computer lab. They were old computers.
even in middle school.
Yeah, middle school we had typing class. We had only word processing, no mouse driven. It's all
We had
like
computers
text.
in middle school and high
Yeah,
school.
yeah. Well, in middle school it was
teachers
just text. The teachers had it at. No, you know what? No, the teachers did not have computers at their.
Wow.
I think in high school they may not have had computers at their desks.
Yeah, and like when I was in high school, AOL was a big thing. Basically, everyone was on it.
Yeah, only a few kids were on it. Like I was one of the people. Like it was only a handful of kids were actually connected.
I was basically friends with every kid who had a computer.
Yeah, I was friends with two of those guys too.
So
two
like,
total.
Most
Three
people,
of us.
I would say over half my class had a computer.
Yeah, Kentucky's a little different. I mean, we learned the wrong model of the atom.
In my freshman year of integrated physics and chemistry in Bonham, Texas, I got detention for saying that there are 4 states of matter
Yeah.
because the book said 3.
Yep. And it's wrong. Yeah, we didn't get taught the probability model of the atom. So when I got to college and learned that, I was like, whoa, mind fucking blown. Yeah, it was bad.
I think it's still not great, but I know that there's been many attempts to try to help it. I was just listening to a thing the other day about education system in America and how like the Bush administration tried to do something about it with No Child Left Behind.
The Daily.
Yeah, and then the administration tried to do something about it, and by and large, just like everyone's so like anti-centralized anything in this country that like
Gridlock.
Yeah, gridlock.
I did have a friend in high school who had a computer, and his house had a second phone line, maybe 3 phone lines, and so he ran a porn BBS system off of his computer that you could dial into with your 56K and log in, and then like slowly download JPEG porn. That was fun.
BBS.
My oldest sister, I once overheard her telling my mom that she found that I'd looked at porn on the computer, and I was so angry because my sister, I kept so many fucking secrets for her. And it was all these things where I was like, I should tell mom about how she's fucking smoking cigarettes and all this weed and blah, blah, blah. I was like, but everything that I know about her will get her thrown out.
Oh, really? It would get her thrown out. So
That's the
hold
way
up.
it felt to me. I don't know if it's true.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say if your mom let you watch Flash Gordon with your sister, I don't know if she's gonna throw her out.
Here's what's fucked up with my mom is all over the place with stuff like this. So when I was 11, she rented Flash Gordon for me to watch.
Right.
When I was like 15, she sat me down and was like, so I understand that you've been looking up pornography on the computer.
Like it wasn't connected.
No, but here's what my mom said to me. She was like, look, that company knows what we look at, and they think that I'm looking at whatever weird things you're looking at, okay? And I don't want that to be on my record. And I was like, Mom, that is not how this works.
It is now.
Yeah, she was just psychic. She could tell the future.
Well, I mean, you know what? You know what would be the biggest red flag ever? Is if they found that you never looked up porn with your internet connection. They'd be like, these guys are terrorists.
They're just AI.
Yeah, they're the most professional company. Yeah.
I did try making fertilizer bombs after watching an episode of MacGyver.
Do we need to edit this out?
Yeah. But the thing is, I didn't understand, like, because I remember MacGyver made a
You're like,
fertilizer bomb.
let's see, I'll poop in a box and I'll put an M80 in here.
So I got like plant like fertilizer, like, but I think I grabbed mulch. I think I just put mulch in there and like kept trying to light it. It wouldn't blow up, and I was like, no, this sucks. And then my dad wouldn't let me watch MacGyver anymore.
Soaked with diesel?
Nitrogen? That's not ammonia.
I never looked at that
component.
Well, there's nitrogen and ammonia in the stuff, but I think that you have to also add diesel fuel.
Oh.
Yeah. I think that was the thing.
Let's call Timothy
McVeigh?
Yes.
Is he still alive?
He was executed on TV.
Oh,
was he?
Good.
Pretty sure.
I missed
Let me
it.
double check that so I don't get a fucking rap written about me.
So to talk about parents finding you were looking at porn, I have sort of a story that I don't know if I've told you guys, but when I was a kid, I was in the neighborhood. I was probably, I would say 14 when I did this. There was a younger boy who's walking in front of me looking at a magazine. And when he saw me coming, he quickly stashed the magazine in some bushes and then fucking booked, right? And so I walked up and grabbed the magazine. I was like, what the fuck is this? And I pull it out, and it's a porn magazine of very overweight ladies, right? And I was like, this is hilarious. So I took it home. And a few minutes later, I got a knock on the door. It's the boy. And he's like, I want my magazine back. And I was like, you can have this magazine, but you're going to have to answer a series of riddles. I was like, come back in 1 hour. And like some friends were over. And so we sat down and we wrote this, like, we made a quick map of the neighborhood, and we wrote like a sketch of like, okay, he'll start here, go here, then here. And we wrote riddles that would lead from one place to another. And in each place there'd be another riddle hidden for him. And like my friend Josh ran out and then like hid the riddles. And then when he showed up, we were still writing, but the first riddle was ready.
Olympia is filled with nerds.
and
filled with them.
And so he went out.
If I did that, they'd be like, what the fuck's a riddle?
And then and we went all out. Like there was a lot of rhyming, and then
Wow.
And then at some point we just got hungry and tired of it, and so we never completed it. So he
was just out there.
He got all the way to the last one. And he was like, he then came angrily back to my house. He's like, I finished all these riddles and there was no magazine. And I was like, fuck you, kid. And then I just closed the door on him.
Oh, that might be the most adorable story about children with porn that I've ever heard.
Yeah.
And then later that summer, my mom was cleaning my room and then found a magazine with very overweight ladies in it. And she was like, I found your magazine. And I was like, what magazine? And then she explained it. And I was like, oh, you don't understand. I had this idea to write a bunch of riddles. And so that one she didn't believe.
I have a similar story.
I just want to know if that kid became Jeff Bezos.
When I was in high school, I had this friend, Adam.
He did finish the riddles.
Who I hung out with a lot. And we would go over to his house, and a lot of times we'd bring other people over there. And this was at a time when I thought it was really funny to show people shocking images on the internet.
Oh, yeah, that was a great time.
So,
Rotten.com.
well, there was like, we picked our own random ones that really weren't the standard ones that people looked at and weren't as shocking and disgusting.
They've looked at so many shocking photos. They had to find their own.
Like,
the
one
indie
picture-
music of
that was
Rotten.
amateur hour.
There was one picture that I found that we used that was like an advertisement for a porn, and it was obviously photoshopped. It was like this little woman, and she was like sucking a dick, but the dick was the size of like a watermelon.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but then the other one, there was this website that
I
was
remember that one.
granniesandfatties.com.
Yeah.
And it was a porn website just of grandmas and fat people.
I guess that overlaps in the Venn diagram.
Yeah.
Were the grandmas fat, or were the grandmas like normal size, and then there was
like
people?
mix. You know, you could get however you like it mixed.
You get a fat grandma.
So
I guess anybody who isn't a grandma is fat, though.
So I'd sent this at some point to Adam, and he went to it, and he thought it was hilarious. So then repeatedly, even times when I wasn't there with him, he would pull it up on his computer to show it to friends to laugh at, and they'd be like, oh, no, right? And then one day I'm over at his house after school, and I'm in the kitchen with him and his mom. I'm in the kitchen with him, and then his mom comes home, and she walks in, and she says, Adam, I went through the history on your computer today. and we really need to talk. And Adam said, look, Mom, everybody looks at porn, okay? She said, not everybody looks at granniesandfatties.com. You're going to therapy.
Another victim.
And I was like, I gotta go.
Do not cross this man. He will tie you to the top of his car.
I only did riddles, you know?
Find out your dad's in a porn.
Get you to look at a bunch of old fatties and grannies.
The most dangerous man on the internet.
How are we doing on time? That feels like a good place to go out.
I think we are at 52 minutes.
That's a good place to go out.
Do we want to maybe discuss, do we want to do another movie on a future?
I don't know. What movie would
All right,
we
I
do?
guess
Frozen 2?
Hey, if any geekheads out there have an idea for a movie we want to
Oh, yeah, we have an email
cover.
that's thedumbgeeks@gmail.com. You could write us.
Write us at thedumbgeeks@gmail.com. We'll have that email address in the show notes. And just let us know what
I have
you like,
a
what you like to
pitch.
see.
I have a pitch for one.
Let's hear this one.
How about we watch Sean Connery's final movie? Do you know he retired from film and then he came back after like 15 years, maybe a little bit less than that, 10 years to make one more film called let me see, I've got it. Guardian of the Highland. It is a terrible Scottish made children's movie that I've seen before, and I think you guys would enjoy it. Sean Connery skateboards with a goat.
This is after Entrapment with Salma Hayek.
This is after everything that he did. He came back after literally like a decade.
Because it's in Entrapment, he looked too old for that. And now he's even older?
Well, it's
On a
computer
skateboard.
animated.
What?
Yeah, it's really it's
Like
and
reboot
it's got
style?
like all your favorite Scottish actors.
I
in
have
it.
I have a handful.
Does it have the U2 guy in there?
And I think you can. I think you can watch it for free on YouTube.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, if it's free.
It's either on YouTube or on Amazon Prime. It's on one of those.
We just it's our free movie review section. Here's what you can watch on Amazon Prime.
Oh boy. What's the name of the movie?
It is. I have to look at it again. Guardian of the Highland, not Highlander.
No, not Highlander. Not Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardian of the Highland.
Sweet, guys.
This sounds terrible. Let's watch it.
Maybe.
Okay.
All right, geekheads, that's
Yeah.
another episode wrapped.
Join us next week as we review Guardians of the Highland.
Guardian of the Highland.
Guardian of the Highland, starring Sean Connery and all your favorite Scottish actors. Like is James McAvoy Scottish?
I don't know. Yes, he is. I looked it up last night because I saw him doing a bad American accent, and I was like,
He does a
what,
lot of
What
those.
is this fucking guy? Was he British? And I saw Scottish. So yes,
Yeah.
but I don't know if he's in this.
Oh, bad American accents.
See you later, guys.